At last year's WD Keating Medal night, we saw Tristan Forrest finally break through to take home the medal after being runner-up on numerous occasions. He edged out Charlie Raff by 1 vote in a thrilling finish. Our leading goal kickers for that season were Tom Graham and Harrison Lincoln, both finishing on 22 goals. In our junior grand final last year, Grassy players helped top up both Curry and North, and it was Curry who prevailed with a good win in the trying conditions. The Kevin Grave Medal for Best Player in the Grand Final went to Aaron Smith from Curry. The Senior Grand Final was played in very blustery conditions between Curry and Grassy. Only 1 goal was kicked against the wind all day. Grassy had the advantage in the final term and their chances to win, but Curry, who had led all game, held firm to win by 7 points. It was Curry's 42nd premiership and their first since 2018. The Jim Satori Medal for Best On Ground in the Grand Final was awarded to Jeremy Walker of Curry and was presented by Jim's granddaughter, Robin van Rooswyk. After the Grand Final, we had a short break before our representative side got into training, ready to take on the Wright Islands Flatheads in Devonport. Along the way, we unveiled a new representative jumper and a new name, the King Island Sea Eagles. The match was played under lights at Girdleston Park, one of Tasmania's biggest ovals. The Flatheads got their revenge on us, winning by 66 points. But it was a great experience for everyone involved. We thank the Flatheads, our sponsors, and all those who supported the trip. In the off-season, work began on installing new lights at the Curry Oval to replace the old ageing system. This project was made possible by a grant through the Tasmanian Active Infrastructure Program with the support of the King Island Council and Saputo Australia. The lights were installed by George Cox Electrical and with the help of generous contractors who donated their time and equipment were able to finish the project under budget. The result is a huge improvement for training and night use and has already been a big boost during the winter months. With the money saved on our new lights, we were able to direct money back to council to help purchase a brand new mower for the oval. This mower has made a big difference to the oval surface, with our volunteers doing a great job in keeping the oval in good condition. Council also altered the retaining wall at the tennis court end to make it safer and allow for extra seating, which has come up really well. Council had an ablution block that was made from a container, and after some consultation with them, it was decided to install it at the oval. This has given us some extra toilets at the ground, plus it has hot showers that our umpires appreciate. The tennis and netball courts adjacent the oval were refurbished, and it saw netball return to being played outside on Saturdays before the football, which has looked and worked well. This season saw some changes in leadership. Jan van Rooswyk stepped down as president but stayed on in his role of treasurer, while Nicole Conley became the first female to step up into the role of King Island Association president. Katie Griffiths continued as secretary, while Kelsey Watts returned as vice president, and Wayne Hamer became our deputy vice president. Player numbers were again a challenge, and the clubs worked hard each week to get teams on the park. We continued with 12-a-side football and up to 4 on the bench. The roster was adjusted to include 3 byes to give players a breather, and we trialled joint training across the 3 clubs for the opening 4 weeks to hopefully draw out some extra players. Grassy had 16 players 3 times, 15 twice, 14 twice, and once they only had 13. Curry were never able to field 16 players. They had 15 once, 14 3 times, 13 3 times, and once they had 12. They were also forced to forfeit 1 game when they got down to 11 players. North ran out with 16 players twice, 15 once, 14 4 times and 13 once. Last season, 98 players took the field across the league. This year, that number was only 85. Grassy had 38 registered players again, with only Brandon Blomfield and Risa Square playing all their 8 games, while 18 of their players only played 1 or 2 games, and they just used 3 top-up players who played in 2 games. Curry had 19 registered players this season and used 16 top-up players who played in all their 8 games. Tyler Smith was the only player to play all his 8 games, with 5 players just playing their 1 or 2 games. North had 24 registered players, with Dale Ellis and Alex Perry the only ones who played all their 8 games. 7 of their players only played 1 or 2 games. Coaching roles stayed the same as last season, with Chris Barnett taking on the job for Grassy for his 8th season. Joel Williams was Curry's coach again, and Dale Ellis carried on from last year with North. 3 juniors made their debuts this year: Alex Perry, Risa Square and Chase Osborne. They all impressed, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them poll votes tonight. We thought we'd be flush with umpires this year, with Paul Dobbs, Bevan Harmon, Nick Preshaw, Wayne Hamer, Brendan Perry and Arnold Stillmaker returning, and Max Hudson joining the team. But injury struck and Jeremy Summers stepped up for a senior match, and Stacey Martin helped us out in 2 junior games. We thank them all. Our season opened with our Umpires Appreciation Round, where players from both sides wore green armbands to recognise the invaluable contribution and often tough role our umpires play. Auskick has continued to thrive under Jess Boys and her team of parents who have done an epic job again this year. This season our juniors continued playing with 3 sides and the team on the bye topping up. They had a good season this year under the helm of Glenn Aldridge of North, Craig Constable for Grassy, David Muir and Robbie Smith looking after Curry. Last season 7 girls played in the juniors, and this season that number jumped to 17. Some roster games were close while other games blew out a bit, but overall it was a good season with coaches and players working well together to make sure there was a game each week. Last year, just before the grand final, a crew came over from a program called The Slice, who did a vodcast each week for AFL play. This was an interesting session with them where they spoke to different people from the clubs. Only just last month I stumbled upon the episode and have just shared it through the KIFA Facebook page. Sponsors remain vital to our ongoing competition, and we thank TRT Pastoral, Narracoopa Mineral Sands, King Island Brewhouse, Bellevue Advisors, Newman's Home Furnishings, King Island Radio and TV, and Waverley Station for their continued support. On the 14th of June, we used our new lights for the first time in a night game between North and Grassy. There was a huge turnout for the game, with players, umpires and spectators all commenting on how good the night was. We look forward to being able to have more games under lights in the future. One highlight of the season was a rare draw between Grassy and North on July 12th. Many wondered when the last draw had been. Our first attempt with AI came up empty, but further digging revealed 8 draws between 1948 to 1973, and finding another one in 1994, which was a semi-final between Curry and Grassy. It has been another memorable season for King Island football, and now it is time to look at players who could be in the mix for votes tonight. Jack Ude. Would it be unfair to say Curry may not have a backbone, but they have got a jackbone? He has had a consistently strong season. No stranger to an intercept mark in the back line. Happy to test his athleticism in the middle or kick a bag up forward. His stints in the forward line has seen him secure the King Island Football Association's leading goal kicker this season with 21 goals. Dale Ellis, player and coach of North. Ellis's off-season aerobic work was on full display from the opening bounce. Sole custodian of the summer's mongrel gene for the Dogs early in the season. He leads by example, is versatile, nimble and fiercely competitive. Michael Dankert. If history is anything to go by, blondes do have more fun on Keating Medal night, and this blonde may be no exception. In his debut season for the Curry Football Club, Michael has proven to be a strong, steadying force. With the knack for bringing his teammates into the action, clearing balls from the back line and taking a handy mark, he's quickly become a key part of the team's defensive playbook. Charlie Raff missed the 2024 Keating Medal by 2 points. Raff has had another interrupted 2025 season. Will unquestionably pole in games he played. He's impossible to match up on times, sleek through the centre, dead-eye kick, a modern-day Nostradamus in the way he reads the play. Brandon Blomfield, grassy skipper this season and has been strong in form, bringing speed, grit and a willingness to throw himself into the contest. A quiet achiever, he works hard all over the ground, consistently giving Grassy plenty of drive going forward. One of the rare players who is equally comfortable kicking off either foot. He's been a reliable and versatile asset all year. Gavin Mason, North's new utility this season. Mason has brought a feisty edge to the Dogs lineup, proving himself to be a major ball winner, mark taker and a reliable goal kicker. Quick and sharp around the contests, he thrives under pressure. The real question for the run home is, will North's set of matching haircuts distract or give the lad an extra edge in front of the umpire's gauge? Tyler Tugger Smith, a solid mainstay in the Robins back line for several seasons. Smith has been magnificently supported this year by his black and red counterparts. The question is whether the heightened backline talent will steal the spotlight from Tugger's feather-light sweeping clearances, rugged one-on-one contests and his ever vocal encouragement for teammates. Reece Esquerra, in his first year of seniors, you wouldn't know he's been playing back-to-back games every weekend. A standout young player, Esquerra could easily be the cornerstone of Grassy's future. Quick and nimble on his feet, clever with the ball, unafraid of a contest, and he's capped the season with an absolute bag of 10 in the final rostered game. Matthew Button. Matthew has been the height in the North back line this year, and his youthful versatility has made him an asset to any role he's assigned. Given a run in the centre, rucking and up forward, he is a tenacious competitor who has had an impressive campaign. Jack Worrell has had a breakout season early, topping up when needed and always strong in the ruck, but it was his athletic work around the ground, smart positioning in front of goal and selfless ball use that made his early season form impossible to ignore. Bailey Rainbow, a stalwart of North's backline. No one reads the play or handles the ball with quite his grace. A clever user with a dab chest mark, he's a ferocious one-on-one competitor, huge kick and deadly accurate in front of goal. Eli Bellinger, a new Curry recruit, straight off the RAF farm. He is a young, quick and agile. His nonchalant execution on the field could threaten to steal votes from RAF and Dankert whenever they share the park. Missing a chunk of the later season, he'll need to poll early to make the final chase, but if he's there at the end, he's a worthy competitor. Will Tatchell, a beer connoisseur who started his own brewery called Van Diemen's Brewer. He was part of an AFL podcast called Way Out on the Wing for 3 years before becoming a member of AFL Tasmania in the role of Coach Education and Development. He was the 2023 National Community Coach of the Year, and this year he raised money for Ronald McDonald House Charities by kicking 8,201 goals over a 24-hour period with Brad Cox Goodyear. Damien Gill. Damien has been with AFL Tasmania for 7 years and has been the head of AFL Tasmania for the last 5 years. He has been involved with the new Tassie Devils side and has been working to increase football participation in both the junior and senior men's and women's competitions in Tasmania. Will and Damien will not get votes tonight, but plenty of other players will. So stay with us tonight to listen to what Will and Damien have to say and see who will take out the medal tonight at this, the 2025 King Island Football Association's W.D. Keating Medal Count.